What's up, everybody? This is the one, the only, the man, the punk, the rocker who rocks the Fleauxhawk, Justin Fleaux, and you're drinking at Moe's.
This is Drinkin at Demos, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkin at Moe's, where we don't quit. Drinkin at Moe's, that's where it's at, like a power bomb. We hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, always a scream.
You know, I've always said here at Drinkinatmos, just because it says drinking at Moe's does not mean it has to be alcoholic. So I'm happy to say Drinking at Moe's is sponsored by Prince Nana Coffee, the, the exact same guy you see every week on Dynamite, on Collision. Yes, he has his own coffee and it's freaking delicious. They don't even roast those beans until you've placed your order. And you might be telling me, hey, Big Mo, I'm more of a tea guy. They got you covered there too. Use the referral link in the description of this video. And let's get you dancing like Prince Nana with Prince Nana Coffee. All right, everybody. Welcome to Drinking a Mo's. Big Mo here. You know the drill by now. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good shit. Because YouTube's algorithm is a pain in the ass. Most audio platforms too. Don't forget about those. Today, I'm excited to have with me a guy that, let's just say, definitely a fighting champion, holding on to that belt behind him for as long as he has. Justin Fleaux, how you doing?
Doing fantastic, Mr. Moe. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. You know, kind of jealous the hair you got there. Me with the
You know what? Bald men always are. But hey, you know what? I always tell him, hey, while I can pull off the mohawk, you can do the dual hawk still. I know there's still some left on the sides there.
there's some yeah, I'm sure that I could pull off the what was it
Dude from
Hawk from
Tekken.
Legion of Doom.
Yeah. Okay, yeah,
The,
you can do
whole
that
the
too.
whole the whole that
Hell yeah.
or you know I got the beard, so I got that.
You got that.
But yeah, the last haircut at Navy boot camp, they're like, oh, we could take that all off for you if you want, and I was just like, oh, screw it, why not?
There's a sure one. It's been like that ever since. So
Pretty much,
okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
pretty much, and the beard. Besides, the youngest of my sisters decided that she was insistent that I had to
Uh,
be clean shaven for her wedding, or else
oh
she was,
boy.
or else she was going to take me out of it. Other than that, I have not really shaved since very shortly after I got back home from the Navy.
I don't blame you. Just let it go, man.
Well, after having to shave sometimes twice a day for 4 years, yeah, I said, screw
Yeah.
it. I'm not shaving anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be the same way. Absolutely would be the same way.
Oh, yeah. So before I get into too big of a tangent here, first thing, damn, I thought I got over my damn allergies, but apparently they're still wanting to kick
Spring
my
break's still here, man. Spring is still
it's
here.
still here. But the first thing I like to start off with everybody when they first come on the show,
Hmm.
what got you started as a fan, and then what got you deciding to make the leap into the business?
Sure thing. So, when I was 6 or 7 years old, I can't recall which age, I was a big Supercross fan. I'm a big motocross fan. When I was younger, I loved riding dirt bikes and stuff. So we went down. I lived in Baton Rouge, right around Baton Rouge at the time. So in New Orleans, they were having a big Supercross race. Went down there. We watched it. We had a good time. I came back home, and so I just turned a little old CRTV on local cable to just see what was on. I happened to be on the USA Network right on a Monday night where Monday Raw is War is going on.
Mm,
I never knew what wrestling was at the time. I knew of boxing, I knew of what a boxing ring looked like, so it kind of looks similar. So I'm seeing, I believe it was The Rock and Triple H in the ring was the first ever match I saw, just on a regular Monday night, beating the crap out of each other, and I was like instantly hooked. I'm like, whoa, well, it's kind of like boxing, but these guys are slamming each other. The crowd's going nuts. There's stuff going on outside the ring, and so it goes to commercial break. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I flip the channel in local cable in Louisiana at the time, the two channels next to each other were the USA Network and TNT. So of course, when I go to
Oh,
commercial break, I flip the channel, and then
boom.
Monday Night Nitros. I'm
Nitro.
like, are you kidding me? There's two of these shows. There's two
Oh
of these
yeah.
shows, and so
Oh
I see like Scott Steiner and Ric Flair doing their thing, and so I'm like, you know what? This is amazing. I was instantly hooked. I was literally just flipping back and forth on the CRT buttons, just trying to catch as much action as I could. So that
oh
really, and that really started my drive for the love and the passion of the sport. And to me, like professional wrestling is a fine art. I've always been an artsy person, so I appreciate what they do in that ring. And so, I was a fan for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. I was this close to losing interest until CM Punk dropped the pipe bomb in 2011.
yeah.
Because that was the era where it was guest host and, it was very kiddie, cartoony, Land of the Giants still. So I didn't see anybody that kind of like fit me. And so I'm like, all right, whatever. And then seeing Punk cuts that, I'm like, all right, I'm right back into it. And, and he started like a whole evolution of like younger, smaller dudes that wouldn't be looked at. And around 2015, 2016, when I was 25, mentally I was kind of lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. I worked a regular 9 to 5. I was paying bills, but like, what do I want my legacy? What do I want to be known for?
Yeah.
And so, in the back of my head, it's always been wrestling. I tried to be a football player, didn't work out wrestling. I tried to do running, track and field, cross country, nothing. Wrestling, game designer, nothing. Wrestling was always there. And I finally said, screw it, I'll just flick the switch. And I found a guy here back in 2017, goes by the name Mad Dog Dan Sawyer down here. And he has a training facility called the House of Pain. Just welcomed me with open arms and trained me for about 3 years. He then handed me off to a guy known as Joshua O'Hagan, another legendary wrestler down here in Alabama. Joshua O'Hagan trained me as well, but he got me the key to be introduced to Johnny Slaughter, who ran Victory Championship at wrestling at the time, now known as Spartan Pro Wrestling. Back in January 18th of 2020, they gave me a shot. I had 5 minutes in front of a crowd of like maybe 200 in the middle of Mumford, Alabama. But the second I was under those lights, like it's just something. It's just saying you just
Uh,
know. You
oh
just
yeah. No,
yeah.
there's definitely I've only myself had a couple instances where I got a little bit of a taste where I
Mhm.
got to be a special guest ring announcer for a friend's match, and I've dabbled, I've attempted to dabble in commentary.
Mhm.
I got some feelers out there, so I've I've only been able to do one show, but man, we got to do a whole entrance and everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I told, I, let's just say the promoter for that one, the less said about that person, the better. But I will say that I asked, you're given a Stone Cold Steve Austin fan an entrance at a wrestling show.
Sure.
I
Sure.
need to be able to do the. I
Sure.
I have to. They said that I could. I'm like, do not go back on this. You do not tell a Stone Cold Steve Austin fan that they're gonna be able to do that at a wrestling show
I
and then
need
take it
this.
back.
Right. Right.
And man, I did, and I learned very quick that when you're doing that to have your eyes closed because a little bit got in.
Oh yeah. No, you never want beer in your eyes. No.
Yeah, no, oh God, I found that out the hard
Nah,
way.
yeah. I found that out the hard way too.
Oh God, yeah. But man, yeah, no, there's something to go along with what you were saying. Something about even from just an entrance, getting just that little taste of it. That oh God, you just want more.
Absolutely. It very much is like a drug.
Very
Like
much so.
you're addicted to it from day one. You just want to have that same feeling over and over again. Yeah,
No, no,
I agree that.
most definitely. Yep. And oh man, I can't. I love my Dr. Pepper, but it gives me the burps like crazy.
Sorry, dude. I'm drinking a zero sugar, so I feel you.
Ah, yeah.
Is there?
It's a diet, so no sugar, but yes. The oh, wow. Okay, back on it. But yes, the Dr. Pepper, the regular Dr. Pepper zero sugar is
It's good,
great.
man. It's probably
It's
one of
good.
the only like diet like zero sugar drinks I can actually just drink normally.
The
100%.
cherry one.
I haven't tried the cherry one yet. Is it good?
So the zero sugar cherry one, the Dr.
Yeah.
Pepper, oh,
Okay.
delicious.
I'll have to give it a shot.
But yeah, the only regular one, besides obviously every once in a while, just the normal Dr. Pepper that I'll have anymore is the Dr. Pepper cream soda.
Okay. Yeah. I've never been fond of cream soda, but I'll just take the OG Dr. Pepper or just nothing
Oh
else.
yeah, no,
I'm a DRP
you
kind of
can't.
guy.
Oh, I
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yes, sir.
So when getting started in wrestling, when I was trying to put together my notes and stuff,
Mhm.
it was looking like you were getting started there, like right. Was it right in the pandemic or like right
Like
around there?
literally few months right before it happened, right? So
Uh,
like we the show Victory Championship run wrestling ran every 2 weeks. So I was getting like, I was getting some in-ring work every 2 weeks from start of January, end of January, February, end of February, got into March, and then the whole thing went down. I think we did one show post the announcement of COVID, and then everybody just shut down. Every wrestling promotion didn't work except for like mud shows, but we don't talk about mud shows. And and we were down for like 3 months. And when you're not training for 3 months, that first training session back, you feel like
yeah.
you haven't even trained, period. I was blown. I mean, you got to think the training facility we were working in for Victory, they had their own academy. So when I went from at the House of Pain with Mad Dog, I went to their academy, literally in this little shack outside of an abandoned high school football field in the middle of nowhere, Mumford, Alabama, hot summer. We have one fan in this little tiny shack. The ceiling is so low that one of our trainees tried to jump on top and literally pulled a Finn Balor and shot his
Yeah,
head through, through the
I was
ceiling.
gonna think of that
Yeah,
spot right when
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
mentioned that.
So so when, heat can condenses in that thing, and then when
So
you're doing blow up drills, I might as
oh
well
yeah.
just start a bit on my first day. But
Oh yeah.
during COVID, but yeah, once we got back into July, though, obviously we were still being careful, but Alabama
Yeah.
unfortunately wasn't too like
Yeah.
restrictive when it came to COVID type deals. So there were fans there, but I think that what we at the very least did the like thermometer on people's heads to ensure that nobody was sick. And
Yeah.
fortunately, nobody on our roster were sick, or if they did, they stood away like they were supposed to. So we were
Good.
we were just fine. We were all fine.
Good. Good deal that all of that was able to go down like that during a time that I know most of us would like to forget ever happened.
Yeah, I think a lot of us do.
Oh yeah.
Except for the checks. I didn't mind the checks, but
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I get you there. I
Yes, sir.
know there was a few shows around here that yeah, they still like they took a little bit of time away, but then yeah, they had their protocols like a
Sure,
lot of
sure.
places ended up
Hmm.
going. But yeah, no, yep, I would like to forget that whole time ever came about
Yeah.
because I remember it specifically because World of Wheels would come here to Omaha,
Mm,
and
mm.
up until like the last 2 years, they generally had a either there was one year where it was Hangman Adam Page, but
Oh, no, Ken. Okay.
it was usually a WWE wrestler that
Right.
would come in for at least one of the days.
Sure.
That year that everything shut down, it was supposed to be Seth freaking Rollins,
Oh
and
man.
then literally a couple days before, boom. And then I'm like,
Of
well,
course. Right.
son of a bitch. And
That sucks, dude.
now the last couple of years, yeah, they just haven't. Yeah, no, yeah, it's upsetting
I can imagine, man.
for a guy that goes and like you can't see the top of my shelf here, but all, well, mostly autographed wrestling figures like
Cool.
Hangman Page, Lance Archer, Jeff Cobb. I got Kushida. I got Cruel.
Nice. Nice.
Uh, Taya Valkyrie. I get like just a whole shitload up there.
Nice,
So
dude.
yeah, no, I'm proud of my little collection up
Sure.
there.
Yeah.
But you brought up Spartan Pro Wrestling. Now
Yes, sir.
I am even still damn near 350 episodes in this right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just shy of 340 right now,
Nice, dude.
but I'm still learning about some new places and
Sure.
new personalities. I believe I had heard of the where you mentioned Victory where it
Yeah.
was before Spartan. I
Mhm.
heard a little bit about them, but then I'm seeing when looking through, putting together my notes, man, you have been kind of a mainstay there for quite a bit.
It's where I got my start, and it's weird saying I'm now one of the veterans of the locker room.
I can imagine when you first start hearing that,
Yeah.
it can be a little like, holy
It's like,
crap.
damn, the gray really is going out, isn't it? Like I'm starting to develop gray hairs and stuff like. But
Oh,
it's a pleasure, dude. I mean,
oh yeah.
to be in that locker room for as long as I have, for promotion to last as long as it has. I mean, they started as Southern Legacy of Wrestling, then turned into Victory Championship Wrestling, then inevitably turned to Spartan Wrestling. That's where it's been. So it's one of those few promotions that while its name changed, it's been
It's still,
around
yeah,
forever.
yeah.
And it's awesome to be part of that. It's also awesome to now be the veteran to kind of help guide the newer faces that want to have chase the same dream. So
Oh yeah.
it's a pleasure and honor that I take very much so.
Oh, I can only imagine. I know, especially in these days where you hear the negative stories about people not really wanting to let go of that spot and not really helping out the new crop, to know that there's a group out there
Yeah,
all over really that are wanting to help out and to either not go the same way that people were when they went in, or
sure.
just they're just genuine. Words are hard. Genuinely
They are.
wanting to help out those and leave wrestling in, given back after they've
Yeah.
been given a lot, like with Spartan, you know yourself being, what was it, a two-time champion there.
Yeah. Literally the only championships I've ever held as Spartan Wrestling are is the top of the line championship, and I have two of the longest reigns in the company's history. I literally just lost it from an unfortunate Quake roll up by Christian Valor this past couple weekends ago, but I literally hit the 1 year mark that night at 364 days. The prior title reign was at 294. So I have a long
Oh,
tenure. I hold on to belts when I grab them.
that is awesome. And another one that I guess when we first set up, you know setting up this date to have you on, I guess I hadn't realized with the Coastal Wrestling Federation
Yes,
that
sir.
you pretty much got a damn stranglehold on that damn title there.
I have been. I'm at, I believe, almost 300 days now with that championship belt. Various things have been going on with that show as of late. We seem to have a bit of a tyrannical leader running the show. The
Mm,
guy kind of took my Flow Enterprise and then renamed it into the Enterprise. Guy has a history of going a little cuckoo while running the
cuckoo for
show.
Cocoa
So
Puffs.
yeah, so he's got me in a he's got me starting off the show defending against the Manimal, Keon Marks. Of course, that was a challenge I gave to him because I'm an honorable champion. He had
You're
his
a
leg
fighting
on the
champion.
rope when he went for the three. I don't felt now. Granted, a couple months ago when I had my enterprise, maybe a little bit different story, but I got more important things to worry about with Marshall Briggs running that show and ruining things than to not be an honorable champion and giving another shot. So not only Well, I'd be going against the Manimal. Then I got to main event the same night against the Mr. Blinding Lights himself, Orion, from up in OVW. Because apparently, for some reason, the lights are too blinding for him to understand that Marshall Briggs is not a guy you want to hang around. So,
Yeah.
me personally, two matches. I've been through worse. I've been through a Warriors Chamber of Spartan Wrestling for an hour and a half, mano a mano with Josh O'Hagan and everybody else in that roster. So to me, this is just going to be two W's in one night, and my reign as the Fleauxhawk CWF champion is going to keep on going.
Oh yeah, no, and you mentioned the big name from OVW coming in. It seems like I've noticed, at least on the CWF social media, that they seem to be having some big names coming in. Like I saw a couple from that are signed to TNA that have been coming in. I'm like, all right,
Yes,
with
sir.
everything they got going on, that with TNA that they have going on with WWE and that whole working relationship, it's like, all right.
Um, it's arguably the biggest promotion in the Florida Panhandle going on right now. The show takes place just outside of Pensacola in Milton, Florida. That's their main home, but they're now starting to get towards Crestview, actually going into the city of Pensacola. The show is big, and we literally at the biggest show of the year, which is Proving Ground, which would be their WrestleMania that happens every single year. Last year, I was in a triple threat between Simon Phillips, who runs out of Wrestling 255. 225 down in Louisiana, and then TNA's Moose.
Ah,
Guess which one of us got the victory there, my friend?
uh,
I'm one of the few people that can say they have a W over Moose. So hey, I'll take it. I'll take
yeah,
it.
victories over Moose do definitely not come very easy.
No, no, they do not. Especially when he tosses all your groupies and friends over the top rope onto each other. Not
Uh,
fun.
yeah, no, but definitely. Yeah, he's definitely a guy that can definitely do that pretty freaking easily. Yeah, don't know what
He's big.
noises. Don't
Yeah,
know what noises my son was making just now, but yes, very big dude. I've actually had the pleasure of meeting him
yeah.
once at Sammy Callahan's promotion, Revolver.
Okay. Cool.
Got to meet him there once. I don't. They kind of. I mean, they're expanding to more cities, but they've kind of centralized between Dayton, Ohio, and the Des Moines, Iowa area.
So
With
they're more of the Midwest right there.
Midwest generally,
Gotcha.
and Des Moines, Iowa is literally maybe 2 hours from me.
Okay.
So more often than not, I'm at the Des Moines stops.
Sure. Sure.
But okay, you mentioned uh, you mentioned Pensacola, Florida.
Yes, sir.
I actually have a little bit of history in that town
Do you know?
because my Navy A school, my job training school for the Navy, was actually in Pensacola.
No kidding.
Yep. I was there from, god dang, sep- like, so you mentioned some of the weather, the hot weather down there.
Oh, Jesus. In Florida is even worse.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh god, yeah. No, there was, it was like right, oh, I want to say tail end of August, beginning of September of '08.
Okay.
I was down there. Thing was, we were being told it was right towards the tail end of hurricane season, so we had a scare there.
Sure.
But yeah, no, we definitely had those times where PT sessions we would say, "Hey, you want to go lose some weight? Just go out for PT, and you'll you'll sweat some off in a couple minutes."
Yeah, is that you'll sweat 10 pounds in about five. I did we did a military benefits show just last year at a military base. Cannot remember the name of it to save my life, and I do apologize if anybody's there watching this. But we did a benefits show there. Over 2,000 plus people got to watch us. We were on in one of the airplane hangars, had old World War II to modern day planes in the background. It was cool. It was like something very much like the tribute to troops that WWE does from
Okay.
time to time. But my grandfather was a POW in World War II. And
Oh,
yeah, so any chance I get to do anything to benefit any former members of the military, current members of the military, I take it with a huge honor and a pleasure
oh, I,
in his name.
I, I definitely do the same myself. Even being a veteran, I had I think myself in going back a few generations. There's been at least one person or another in I think every branch but the Air Force.
Oh, really?
Like my grandpa and one of his brothers served in Korea. I've had, um, I actually have a relative that was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor in World War II.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
a little bit of military history in my family. So I'm
Sure.
proud to be somebody that has carried on that a little bit.
Sure thing. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Definitely. Now, okay, I got to get your. So, okay, first off, question about that benefit show because do you remember what town, like around the town it was in? Was it in Pensacola?
It was in one of the bases on the outskirts of Pensacola. I think it was it's not directly in Pensacola or around that region. It was like maybe 30 minutes away. It's an air base somewhere. I think it
Okay,
starts with a D, letter D, I think it was Duke
okay,
Field.
okay, because I
I think
know
Duke Field was the name of it.
that Pensacola they have the air base and then they have the one where all the intelligence fields job
Right.
training is. And
Right,
then
right,
I
right.
want to say Mobile has a base around there somewhere, but
Yeah.
yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, anyways.
Yeah.
Even though I've been through that base more than I can
More-
count, but
Sure.
I was just thinking, and wanted to get your opinion on this. That I've heard recently that WWE is phasing out the tribute to the troops shows,
Really? I
which
wasn't aware of that.
one they when they started doing it where it was kind of like oh what is it one of the C shows like where how how 205 live was
Yeah.
or
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
sort of thing where it was
Hmm.
just a regular little deal at a venue. What I enjoyed it when it was actually at the bases
Oh yeah, like actually interact when they were doing it.
or
Yeah, yeah, no,
those
yeah.
or
Or they
what
actually go to a military base and do the show. I think they did one on a battleship. I think a year or two ago, wasn't it? Yeah.
they did. Funny story about that one
Yeah.
because they actually did one on one of the piers in San Diego where I was stationed,
Where you were stationed. That's cool, dude.
and I kid you not, that ship that was in the background,
Yeah.
that was the one I was on.
That's awesome, dude. That's cool,
Like
man.
I would see the pictures of the wrestlers touring the ship, and I'm like, I remember telling somebody that I don't know if they were still there at the time, but they knew me being the big wrestling fan that I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh man, I bet you're jealous." And I'm like, "Yeah, god damn it, they never did any cool
Right.
shit like that when
You
I
couldn't
was
get me
there."
into the show, man. What the
I oh, trust the thought crossed my mind.
I'm
But
sure.
but yeah, no, I was just curious, you know, being somebody that likes to, give back to, military causes, your
Absolutely.
thoughts on them kind of phasing stuff out, even though it sounds like you're just now kind of learning about it.
Um, I guess like as you know what, as sad as it is to say, it's a really good beneficial show, but I feel like they looked at it more as like a novelty, like one of those
I
special edition, like a
yeah,
Saturday Night Main Event type thing.
yeah,
And so I think from a business perspective, I think I see them being looking at is it financially
I
worthy
could,
of us to do it. But to me, at the same time, like watching a kid, like I said, I used to love it when they would actually go to Iraq and like, do those shows in front of the troops. That environment like just being on like a military base in like the battle zone and you're doing wrestling for these kids. That's like, or these, these people who are in, literally sacrificing their lives. I mean, you guys are the real heroes more than anybody else, honestly. Um, but like, and then when they did the battle shifts and it's cool. And now when you just kind of keep it to Infinity, like, are we really tributing to the troops anymore? Or are we just kind
Yeah.
of doing a novelty show at this point?
So
So it's
yeah,
like,
you're kind of in the same thought as me.
yeah,
That, like,
yeah,
it was something more special when they actually were at the bases
sure.
as
Yeah.
opposed to, you know, just a little extra thing that they just tack on at the
Mm,
end or before or at the end of a Raw or SmackDown.
sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Um, I would say like as long as they continue to, get honor those who have sacrificed and those who are sacrificing now. I think it's perfectly fine. The tribute to the show getting canceled, while it sucks, at the same time, I think I kind of understand their reasoning for it.
Yeah, no, I like, hearing you mention it like that, I can, yeah, you tell them. My son like discovering his voice right now. But yeah, no, I get it. There's definitely those business aspects, with, the venues and,
Hmm.
having to figure out, times that, I know there's some uh, towns that have a cutoff on times
Yeah,
and stuff. So thinking about it like that, as much as it's disappointing, I get it.
sure. Sure.
Now, I did kind of want to mention, so when having some people on, I like to have them kind of, for those that might not be in their general area, explain. So with a Coastal Wrestling Federation, you having the stranglehold on the title that you do right now, explain. You kind of explain your storyline, but what does a Coastal Wrestling Federation have going on right now for those outside of your area?
Well, those who are maybe around the Florida Panhandle range or those who are around the region who have never attended the show, I argue that our roster and our locker room has some of the most entertaining and unique characters that you're going to find anywhere around the southeastern region. We have literal Steve Urkel like book nerds who are dominating people. We have a Britney Spears fan who's bringing his love for Britney into the ring and fighting like crazy. They're a tag team champs, by the way. That's great. We got Cowboys who literally have gone mentally sane. Mr. Marshall Briggs, like I said earlier. You got a Punk who rocks the Fleauxhawk going on and
I
doing our
get it.
thing, man.
I get it.
So while we are a diverse group of characters, we tell a story and we have entertainment like no other. Um, our venues that we attend are always taken care of, and fans are always leaving happy. And even if they're angry or pissed off at the character, we're always leaving them with their money's worth. Compared to a lot of shows that may not get you that, but Coastal Wrestling Federation will always give you that. And we also live stream every time we do a show too. So if you can't
There
get there,
you go.
you can always come check us out.
So I can start keeping my eye on you guys.
Absolutely.
I
Well,
look
it should be
forward to
live
it.
streaming this Saturday, in fact, if I'm not mistaken.
I might be able to. I'll talk about off camera, but I should be able to uh, tune in. But all right, so I have two categories here. One's a bit of a name game where I name off some people. You give me some quick thoughts on them,
Sure
and
thing.
each of these people, I had this idea when I saw the TNA talent coming in.
Yes, sir.
Each of these people minus one is some of the people I think of that I enjoy when watching TNA, which I don't know about you, but in my opinion, as far as the national televised promotions go, TNA criminally underrated.
And at this point, yeah. Like if you would have talked to me about Impact like even 3, 4 years ago, I'd be like, they're
Yeah,
kind of where they deserve and where they belong.
but
But
yeah,
they
right
have
now,
elevated themselves, and them working with NXT and WWE has helped them elevate that much more. It helps that they have guys like that was formerly Dolph Ziggler, now Nick Namath on the roster. You have a
mhm.
lot of kind of cross talent that have been at both shows, and that there's history between both promotions. So like it's weird. We're having like a mini war at the same time, like the promotions are kind of helping build themselves up and the popularity
Yeah.
is going. And now people are arguing that NXT is the A+ show compared to Raw and SmackDown in some regards because of what they're doing with TNA.
Oh,
I argue TNA, me personally, I think TNA is almost running just as good as AEW, if not better in some
oh,
retrospects.
oh, I would, before we get into the category, you brought up an interesting point.
Mhm.
I have told a few people that I feel like if TNA had a better television deal, they'd be running right up there with AEW on the
I think
quality of
so.
the shows.
I think so, arguably, yes.
Oh yeah. All right. So I give you the name, you give me first thoughts that popped in your head, and I'll try to see if I can put this. Okay. Yeah, they don't. There we go. Now you got it. Oh well. There we go. That's what I get for having to have him with me. He definitely lets you know when he's got something to say.
Oh, sure. I'm sure he'd be great on the mic once he gets older.
Oh yeah. No, I would like to think so. I've already okay, now I'm getting on another tangent here. First wrestling memory I have watching with him,
Mhm.
I I was watching SmackDown and I felt this warm spot where I was holding him, and I'm like, oh damn.
Oh boy.
I lifted him up, I felt, and I'm like, gosh, yeah, you did that. But
His first heel turn.
though, so I've had uh Alexis Cardozo Fightful on,
Okay.
and he does the SmackDown post show on Fightful,
Okay.
and they had Miss Kate, which shout out to Alexis Cardoza and Kate, love the both of them. But they also had Mr. Sean Ross Sapp on, and I commented on the post show, and they actually read it off. And I was like, my son was so excited about the show he peed on me, and they all laughed. And I was like, yes,
There you go, man.
oh yeah. All right, now on to the category. Now that I've gotten all that out,
All right.
so first one. I mean, we've already talked about Moose, so I'll have to kind of leave him out. But I can't help but think about one of the other members of his faction in TNA right now,
Hmm.
Brian Myers.
Definitely up there, but I think it's fitting that he plays second fiddle to the Moose. I mean, Moose is such a brute, man. You can't knock that guy down. I mean, I
Um,
barely was able to, if at all, in that match.
oh yeah,
But yeah, Brian Myers, but he's good. He's a good talent. I ain't got
oh,
no complaints about him.
oh yeah, he's a great trainer. I know he's got with the Creative Pros, got a
Mm.
good thing going there, but he definitely knows how to play his role
Sure,
in the show. He
absolutely.
plays his role in the show very well. All right. Now, I guess anymore it's kind of funny to think of these guys as TNA talent when I mean they're legends in the business. The Hardy Boys.
Let's just say I was addicted to Jeff Hardy in 2002. When he came out in the black lights and the paint splattered all over
Yeah.
him, I was instantly hooked. I've always loved the Hardy Boys since day one. When they started when they pushed themselves away. I think what it was Michael Hayes that they
Mm,
were managing under when they and then you when they branched off and became their own tag team, and then Lita joined them. That it was they're as a kid growing up watching that, I thought they were the coolest thing ever. And Jeff Hardy, and I give nothing but respect the amount of punishment those gentlemen have put themselves through their bodies. Jeff Hardy jumping off the tallest stuff, Matt Hardy literally cracking his skull on concrete and still able to do this and not be dead is a miracle in and of itself. And but they can still go. And that's the thing, so many legends, they lose their bodies and they can't go anymore. These guys are like in their 50s almost, if not already, and they're still going. It's crazy. I have nothing but respect for those guys. They're awesome.
Oh yeah. Now I haven't seen this guy on too much as of late, but I've actually I've actually got to meet him a couple times.
Okay.
Casey Navarro.
I don't know if I got much to say about Casey Navarro. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, he's a great talent. Maybe I need to do a little bit more research on Casey Navarro. I'm not entirely too
Yeah,
familiar with Casey Navarro, but I know the name and I've
yeah.
seen some of his work, and I'm like, you know what? Not bad, not bad.
I've got to witness some of his work live on a couple of occasions. One time for Revolver, and yeah,
Nice,
now I'll try to but another time, and I got nothing but love for this promotion, the people running it, even up to now. But they were known as Warrior Wrestling, and I guess they're going by Pro Wrestling Ventures now. But he was their champion for a while,
okay,
and I got to be there live for a match one time, him versus Mike Bennett, and there was a point where he did a dive over the ring post and onto Mike Bennett
nice.
outside of the ringside barrier, and it happened like right in front of me.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
I got actually one of my YouTube shorts is actually a clip of that moment.
Nice.
So, and yeah, I got to tell him about being there for that when I met him at Revolver. So it was pretty
Okay,
fun.
that's cool, dude. I'll have to check out the clip
Oh
once we're
yeah.
done here.
Oh yeah. Now, boy, you gotta think of when thinking about TNA, you got to think about the knockouts.
Oh, sure.
One of the promotions that really put a focus. Yeah, I hear you. Really put a focus on women's wrestling, but right now, I guess they've moved on elsewhere. But for the longest time, they were TNA.
Yeah.
Jordan Grace.
I think arguably TNA's knockout division, especially back when it was really the main focus of the show back in like the early mid to late 2000s, they were easily arguably better than with the women's roster in WWE without
Oh,
question.
totally.
You had Gail Kim, you had
Mm.
oh God, what was the other names? I can't remember the other one. I can't remember her name for whatever reason. She would used to wear kind of like the whole suit and like be drinking beer like crazy.
ODB.
Yes, OEV. You had she went to TNA. She went to WWE in like 2010. I can't remember her name. Big Blake Black girl. What was her name?
Awesome Kong.
Awesome Kong, of course. I'm terrible with names. I'm familiar with faces more than I am with names. But yeah,
Yeah.
like that's just a three. That's just three of them.
Well, yeah, three out of them. Yeah.
Three out of all the knockouts, and they always put on a great show. And I think arguably they impacted the women's division once in the early 2010s. They started taking them seriously, and
Yeah.
they're actually competing against each other rather than just doing bras and panties matches left and right. And instead of just being googly eye focus things, we're treating them like actual athletes now.
Oh
And
yeah. Not.
I think that started in with TNA, and the
Oh
knockout
yeah.
division still arguably is still good to this day. Granted, Jordan Grace was their diamond in the rough, and now she's off to NXT where she rightfully belongs. I think honestly, she
Oh.
deserves to be in WWE at this point.
Oh yeah. No, with her, definitely, she's a perfect example of, you know, the current regime, how it's been so much better for people that, you'd hear people that were elsewhere that would people would say, oh, this person should go to WWE and blah blah blah. And for a while, under the old regime, we'll just call it that, I'd be
Yeah.
like, no, no,
No.
let them. They got a good thing where they're at,
Hmm.
or if they need to go elsewhere, there's other choices now.
Hmm.
But with the current regime, oh, oh, dude, yeah,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
can, shit, go, because heck, I know NXT, especially going back to the old regime, they have when they made that silly move to NXT 2.0, and there was all like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that, whatever the.
We don't talk about that.
No, yeah, yeah, no.
I'm just kidding.
Much like the pandemic, we choose not to talk about that.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, like, I've actually had somebody that's now working backstage there, Ryan Katz, on,
Cool.
and he, I've often said, man, now it is becoming way more watchable. Like, there
Absolutely.
was a while NXT was like, oh God, okay, I'm flipping the channel.
Sure.
But now, oh man, with guys like Ethan Page doing
Hmm.
amazing over there, and other people that they've been bringing in, like Jordan Grace is doing amazing, and yeah, no,
Well,
that's
it coordinates well too with the recent WWE LFG show that they've done, where like Undertaker, Bubba Ray,
yeah,
Booker T, and Mickey James are the head coach. I've been watching that as well. It really gives you an insight of like how the performance center works and how
yeah,
all these athletes have been there for like years, months, if not years, building themselves up. And then you see them work on the actual product itself, and you see like the progress or the regress in some
yeah,
cases. And like it's a crazy business, especially once you're at that point. I'm a competitive person, so I can't imagine like being at that point. Like literally, it's if I'm not competitive and I'm not building myself up and enhancing myself up in this promotion, then I'm not only falling behind, then I'm falling behind the next guy. And if I made it this far, I'll be damned if I'm not if I'm gonna stagger. You know what I mean? So
oh yeah,
it seems way more competitive down at NXT, especially with the town. So you see them like giving it all, they're
oh
all for that crowd, and it's only like maybe what, like I think a 2,000 seat little arena that they have there,
yeah, yeah.
but like it
When
sounds
they,
like a sold out 10,000, 15,000 seat
oh
every
yeah,
time.
when they're actually down in the Orlando area, but yeah, they've been traveling around a little bit, and yeah, they drawn the dang good crowds there. I've been, as somebody that, yeah, I catch a little bit here and there of the not so watchable stuff, and now seeing where it's at, I'm like, okay, I almost try to make it a point when I'm not recording to be like, okay,
Sure,
I got to make sure I'm paying attention to this now.
sure, sure.
Now, okay, so not so much TNA, but with down south, I hear you, but down south, and thinking of another person that just not all that long ago got brought into NXT, and hell, already winning gold. Ricky Saints, or Ricky Starks, as most people
Ricky
remember him.
Starks, Ricky Saints. I think Ricky Saints actually rolls off a little bit better off the tongue,
Yeah,
honestly. And it fits him. He's from New Orleans, another fellow Louisiana boy like me. Um, I'm so happy to see where he's at. Like I look at him very much like how Cody Rhodes was with AEW. It's like you are that dog, but you're as high as you're gonna get there. You need to go to the next place. And there was real emphasis that he was gonna go there inevitably anyways, especially with him being spotted, I think at WrestleMania 40 in like one of the little studio,
yeah,
like with the higher ups, upper deck areas. Like, but he's got a character about him. And like he stands out. And his wrestling work is great. His ability to work on the mic is great. He's gonna go places. He'll be this
oh yeah,
generation's Rock if he keeps working himself the way he's working him.
oh yeah. I definitely see similarities between the two.
Hmm.
Definitely. All right, now I have some random questions here. Some might be wrestling related, some might
Sure.
not be. Some probably have nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far. So I give you the question, first answer that pops into your head.
Sure thing.
First one here. Craziest in-match moment for you.
Um, you know what? Probably me diving doing a moonsault off the top of a cage
That would fit.
as my first ever moonsault. Let me just tell you, let me just say it. So
Ooh.
it was the Warriors Chamber, what we call the Warriors Chamber at
Yeah.
Spartan Pro Wrestling. It's basically usually it's like we run it like a Survivor Series type of deal
Yeah.
where it's each person gets eliminated, they get eliminated from the match, and it's whoever's left standing is declared the winner for their team. This was in 2020, same year I debuted. I was in training. I wanted to do a moonsault off the top of the turnbuckle. Scared shitless.
Yeah.
Couldn't. Can I cuss on here, by the way? I don't.
Oh yeah, no, you're
Yeah, okay,
good.
okay,
You're
cool,
good.
cool. All right, cool. Yeah, scared shitless. I couldn't do it. But in the match, I'm like, this is a moment for me. Like, if I don't do this, I trust these guys to catch me. Whatever happens, happens. I just decided to crawl up 13 feet in the air. And I'm just sitting there, like, crawled. I'm like, whatever, here we go. And then just dive. There's that picture I have on my Instagram of me just like halfway backflips. But
Oh God,
that
yeah.
was yeah, that was an exhilarating feeling, just being up in the air because it feels like 5 minutes when it's really only like two seconds at most. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, so that's probably one of the craziest moments I've had in my career so far. Other than that, probably I just got done with a dog collar match
I was
with
gonna
one of
say I heard
yeah.
about the dog collar match. I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah. I just got done doing my first ever dog collar match against a new up and coming talent named Victor Thorne here at Spartan Wrestling. He's been running through the Alabama ranks right now. Has a lot of potential. I kind of look at him as sort of like a newer generation Owen Hart would be the best
Okay.
way I can describe him. I'm still learning. You know, he's still new into it, but he has that potential 100%. We went through hell with each other. And while he disrespected me, I gladly disrespected him right back and then spiked his head in the middle of the ring and won the match. So, hey, it is what it
Hey,
is. Yeah.
and hey, when you can compare him to a legend like Owen Hart,
Yeah.
that's a good damn compliment right there.
Yeah. He's got potential for sure, 100%. But that's just a compliment on amongst all of our roster talents at Spartan
Yeah.
Wrestling. We have a lot of potential there.
Oh yeah. Nope. I can understand you there. Now, next up, I'm not exactly a picky eater, but I do have my stuff that I just nope.
Mhm.
What would you say least favorite food of yours?
Anything that's a vegetable.
I can understand.
Like for me, unless it's mixed in, like if it's like mixed
Mm,
in with something, I can eat it. If it's just a vegetable, like straight up, like a straight up piece of broccoli, I don't care how much cheese you throw on that thing, I'm not eating it. Okay,
yeah.
I'm
No.
not eating carrots and that. So I think my immune system's okay though. I'm still healthy. I don't really eat much vegetables, but I'm all good. So
No, I can definitely understand you there because heck, one of my least favorite
mm.
peas.
Oh
Straight
God.
up peas.
Uh,
I can't do it by themselves. No,
they're
not
so
touching it.
soggy every time. They're
But
so soggy every time.
but if they're mixed into like chicken pot pie or some sort of a casserole or something like that where there's other stuff in there with it,
If they're mixing like a ramen mix or something like that, I'm okay with it. Like
yeah.
I got no problem with it. But
Yeah,
if it's just
mixed
like
in
the
with
straight
something.
up piece straight up, it's like
Yeah.
it's got this green watery like liquid with it too. It's like I'm just like
Yeah.
nah, I'm good.
No, I yep, I'm with you there completely. Although I will admit, the amount of vegetables that I hated before I met my wife
Mhm.
was significantly bigger than it is now. That there's just the way that she's prepared
Mhm.
a, a few of them that I've taken off the list.
Yeah,
It's like the way she prepared them, I'm like, okay, I can do this.
sure.
But outside of that, mm-mm.
It helps. It helps to have somebody who can cook cook it
Oh,
right.
good Lord. My wife, oh yeah. Oh, she has spoiled me rotten. Oh man. Like one of my favorite foods lasagna. Oh man,
Hmm.
when she made one of those for me the first time, I'm like, oh, like full on, like Simpsons reference here, full on Homer Simpson. Oh,
Yeah, right, right.
yep, I did it. All right, now as of this recording, we are on the heels of WrestleMania.
Yes, sir.
WrestleMania week, one of the highlights of the whole week
Yes,
is
sir.
the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Hmm.
Now, there might be people out there that might correct us here because Lord knows I don't remember everybody that's been put in. But is there anybody that you remember that you think should be in that isn't in there already?
I would argue that a guy like Scotty 2 Hotty or in Too Cool in general and
Mm.
Rikishi should
Oh yeah, that
absolutely,
that whole
that
the
whole trio.
trio.
The trio should arguably be in there. The only reason I know how to do the worm is because of Scotty 2 Hotty. And they were arguably one of the great tag teams back then. I mean, nobody had a better entrance than they did. I mean, literally, when they
Oh
won, they
yeah,
just slapped the glasses on, and all of a sudden, it's
and
just like
then
they're in a
who?
trance. Boom, there you
Yeah.
go. And when, as a kid, I loved like techno music and like was just getting to all the different types of 90s pop music at that time. It was so cool to see him. And he had the cool spiked hair coming out the visor. I think
Oh
if
yeah.
and then he did so much for NXT when he was still there, being
Yeah.
like a performance like a performance center like trainer and actually working the
Yeah.
shows. He has done more than enough than I think to deserve to be in that induction ceremony. Of course, that was the first. There's so many, but that was the one that
Oh.
came to my mind
Oh
first
yeah.
thing.
That definitely one that would fit. I know. Okay. Lord knows with the bad blood between the family and the organization. We talked about Owen Hart.
Sure.
Definitely a person that would deserve to be in.
Right.
And I mean, I know there's the relationship with AEW with the Owen Hart Cup,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
I mean, I'm happy to see them do that.
Sure.
But one would wonder with this new regime, with the guy that his widow blamed in large part for the accident,
Now
one would
gone.
wonder
Yes.
if maybe with him being out of the picture now,
Hmm.
if maybe the road to him getting inducted would be a little easier.
Triple H would be the one guy that can do it. That
I
guy
would
has
think so.
rebuilt so many bridges that were broken because of Vince's decisions over the years.
Yeah. Yep.
Bruno Sammartino, I mean, um,
Warrior.
Warrior. Ironically, I went to the Raw that happened the week after he cut his last promo and then died. So though that one here in Birmingham was the tribute show where everybody had their mask on and everything. So, um, I mean, like Triple H has rebuilt so many like relationships with WWE. And like I said, if anybody could get Owen Hart to be finally respectfully inducted to the Hall of Fame, I think it would be him. So I don't know what the contract is between Owen Hart's wife and AEW at the moment, but I think once it gets to an end, Triple H is going to do all he can to try and get
Oh
them
yeah.
over.
Oh, I would like to think, yeah, much like you said, if there's even the remote possibility of it happening,
Mhm.
Triple H would be a guy that would be able to rebuild that bridge to try to make
Absolutely,
it happen.
without question.
Out a shadow of a doubt. All right. Now, with the name of a show like I have, I kind of have to ask this because
Sure thing.
I would feel weird if I didn't.
Sure.
Favorite drink, alcoholic or otherwise? Because I know there's plenty of people out there that, for one reason or another, don't drink. So I always try to tell people just because it says drinking at Moe's doesn't mean that it has to be alcoholic.
Sure, sure. Um, for me, if we're talking straight alcohol, I'm not so much of social, I don't drink at home, but I'm a social drinker. So anytime I'm out and about, a nice Hennessy and Coke, a cognac of any kind is what I go for.
Oh,
I'm a cognac kind of guy. Otherwise, if I'm drinking just regular stuff, it's either a Dr. Pepper zero sugar or a zero ultra purple monster. Those are my two go-tos.
oh,
Those are
I,
yummy.
Energy drinks. I'm fond of the Popsicle brand C4 energy drinks.
I've apparently C4 is like really hyped up now. I've thought they've always been like over top sugary drinks, but people love those things, man.
Oh, and the Popsicle brands have zero sugar.
Do they really? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check that out then.
they're pretty. I'm particularly fond of the cherry flavored one.
Right.
There's a Hawaiian punch one that is freaking delicious.
Okay.
But yes, much like you, Dr. Pepper, I'm I'm more of a beer guy. I
Nothing wrong with that.
I do. They don't sell this anywhere near me, but yes, one of my favorite ones I've ever had anywhere.
It's that Broken Skull. I
Broken
thought that's
Skull
what that
American
was.
Lager,
Yeah.
man. That's
I've had
freaking
one, man.
delicious.
It's good. It's good stuff.
You knew Stone Cold putting his name behind a beer. He was
It was
gonna
gonna
have a
be
good.
good. Yeah, you
Oh
can't
yeah.
make a Steve Weiser and it not taste good. And then
Oh
why otherwise why would he be dousing himself in it every night? Yeah, makes no
oh
sense.
yeah. Totally. Now you mentioned Hennessy and Coke. I am a particular fan of when it comes to mixed stuff like that. Jack and Coke, but I'll put grenadine in there so it tastes like a
Okay.
Jack and cherry Coke.
Okay. Yeah, so like a liquorized Dr. Pepper pretty much.
Pretty much. Although
I gotcha.
although I gotta mention one time I just stumbled on it. I had one of those little shooter bottles of the freaking Jack Honey.
Gotcha.
And I had before I switched over to the zero sugar stuff,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I had a can of regular Dr. Pepper, and I came across that little bottle, and I'm like, hmm,
Yeah. Why not?
Jack Honey and Dr. Pepper. Oh,
I bet it sounds good. Yeah.
oh,
I'll
it's delicious. It is
yeah, I'll
absolutely.
if there's no Henny and Coke available, I'll do a Jack and Coke though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can do whiskey just as much as I can do cognac.
Oh yeah. No, although some people think I don't know why, but I have a lot of people in my circle that don't like tequila, but I'm like the type of tequila that I like
Hmm.
so damn smooth. You put that into like a margarita or something,
Really?
you're gonna need to be freaking careful.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I used to be a tequila guy, but I don't know, man. Like when I do tequila, it's just straight tequila. I don't usually mix it unless it's like a margarita or something like that. But like, yeah, that man, tequila's strong. And that's coming from somebody who's partially Spanish. It's just strong.
No, I get you. All right, now last but not least here, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling.
You'll never know until you do it.
Like it.
All it takes is one opportunity. If it flubs up and you didn't do great, hey, you gave it a shot. Don't live your life with regrets. And that's for anything, whether
Oh
it's
yeah.
wrestling or a different career, a passion, a dream of anything. Just pursue it. Just try it
Oh,
at least once. And if it doesn't work out, hey, you know what? I'm still a fan and I'll be a fan forever. But you will never know if you do this and then all of a sudden you go to next week and then the next month and the next year, no, next 10 years, and all of a
yeah.
sudden you got a name on a dotted line somewhere. Just give it a shot. If this is your passion, if this is your dream, this is what you want to do, pursue it, please. Understand there's a massive competition now, but
Yeah.
also understand there's more diversity and availability to work than there ever has been, probably since the
Oh,
territory days.
oh yeah.
So live your dream. If I can quote the great Dusty Rhodes, hold on to a dream and never let go of it.
Mm,
Never let go.
I like it. And yeah, no, I just think I actually had this conversation with somebody the other day where I was telling them because not to go on too personal of a downer here, the last couple of years on my side of things, there's been a lot of death in the last couple of years.
There has been, man.
And it got me thinking that much like along the lines of what you were saying, I would much rather whenever my time is coming close, I'd much rather look back on things and say, "Holy shit, I did that,"
Right.
rather than being like, "I wish I did that."
I never want to be in my deathbed and wonder what if.
Oh yeah.
I never want to be that because I've known so many people who have grandfathers or they've been at that point in their life, like a death threatening situation, and they're like, man, like, I really wish I would have done that in my younger years. And I don't want to be,
Yeah.
on my deathbed with my family surrounding me, like, did you know you could have been a rock star? Did you know?
Mm.
Like,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, I don't want to live that, live life to the fullest, right? Live every
Oh,
day like it's
for
your
sure.
last. Go
For
for it.
sure. What ifs and regrets are the one of life's biggest kicks in the ass.
Absolutely. 100%.
Most definitely. And hell, when you get in there, though, another thing that I kind of laugh when I say it because I think it's kind of funny because I think I actually learned the quote. I don't remember the exact quote, but it
Hmm.
was from Homer Simpson, where I kind of twisted it around to where I say, never half ass anything, always full ass it.
There you go. I like that quote.
Yeah, you feel free to use it whenever. But
All right.
anyways, that is about all I have. I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. Best of
Absolutely.
luck out there, Spartan Pro Wrestling, Coastal Wrestling Federation, and everywhere in between.
Yes, sir. We're only going to keep growing from here, man. 5+ years in the business. Here's to 50 plus more. We'll see where it takes us,
Yeah.
brother.
All
I
right.
appreciate you inviting me onto the show, man. Made this show and this podcast grow even further beyond Nebraska and everywhere in between, brother.
Oh yeah. Now I almost forgot. Where can people find you social media? Social media wise, so if
Yeah.
they don't already have their eyes on you, they can go
Sure
ahead and
thing.
get them
Sure
there.
thing. You can follow me on Instagram at JO_FLO23, Joe Flow 23. You can follow me on TikTok, Justin Fleaux. You can follow me on here on YouTube, Justin Fleaux. I have all my matches on a playlist. You can feel free to watch where the Fleauxhawk is available and, and watch all my matches from the past, present, and in the future. You can follow me on Facebook via my shoot name, which is kind of over here. I kind of forgot to not put Justin Fleaux right there. It's Justin Scott Flores or Justin Fleaux via Facebook. Otherwise, I'm sure whatever new social medias will come, you'll find Justin Fleaux there rocking
Oh,
out.
I didn't want to forget about that before we go. But again,
Yes, sir.
thank you so much for talking to me tonight.
Absolutely, dude. It's been an absolute pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Now my issue with this fucking button again. God.
That's it.